following motion picture contains mature subject matter. Parents may consider some of the program content unsuitable for children. Parental discretion is advised.
Thanks for tuning in to Movie House. I'm your host, Ron Pertee, and this month is Ape Month. Every Thursday in August, we will talk about different installments in the Planet of the Apes franchise, starting with the original starring Charlton Heston and his bear Fanny as the sole survivor of a group of astronauts that seemingly have landed on a planet where apes have evolved from men. Only to find out that things aren't what they seem in Monkey Town. Yeah, it's based on a book by Pierre Bol, which is called La Planta de Singes, which I think translates as Look at the Size of My Croissant. The film went through a ton of writers based on the original script by the Twilight Zone's Rod Serling. The reason the script went through the ringer is due to cost. It always comes down to money. You see, the original script had the apes living in a futuristic society as opposed to the Flintstones cosplay that they ended up in the final film. The film was directed by Franklin J. Schaefer, who was also known for Patton and The Boys from Brazil. Boy, do I want to make a joke about the Trumps on vacation in Brazil right before Donald was born, but I'll be a good boy. One of the names that was originally tossed around for director was Blake Edwards. You know, the Pink Panther guy. Can you picture it? Peter Sellers playing Taylor, Cornelius, Zira, Zaius, and the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. We'll be right back after this with my review of the film. In the comments of the trailer for this month's group of shows, someone schooled me on what an ape really is. So I apologize. I apologize that I'm too busy dodging Bingo's lunch being thrown at me to worry about bone structure of a monkey. People don't want to get laid anymore. Let's get down to what I thought of this movie. Wow. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. But the problem with it is it's really super slow. It starts off incredibly slow. You don't see your first ape for a long while. I didn't check the time code while I was rewatching the movie. A lot of it is Heston and theological stuff about man and all this other stuff where they're walking through the forbidden zone and all this other kind of stuff. And you don't really see an ape per se for a long time, but when you do, it's this giant gorilla thing, and that's great. When that stuff starts happening and it picks up once you see the apes, which is, you know, the movie's called Planet of the Apes, so you figure you'd want the ape. You don't want to wait too long to get to the monkey. The ape, sorry. So, I mean, it's really slow for me. It starts off very slow. It's not my favorite in the franchise, believe it or not, despite Rod Serling, who's one of my favorite television writers, penning the original script, and his ending is still, the ending of the film is still the same ending that he wrote, so there's that. They're good enough to keep his twist, but not good enough to make it Planet of the Ape Jetsons, apparently. But, so, yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. It's a great movie. It has a great, subtle kind of subplot to it about society, in a way, how one type of society is trying to keep the other one down because of a feeling of superiority. It also plays a lot into how we, as the human race, hate each other for no reason and are willing to kill each other for nothing. Nothing at all. So, definitely check it out. You can pretty much find it anywhere. In fact, you can get the Blu-ray, I think, right now, with the original one for like $8 online. So I highly suggest, if you have not seen the original Planet of the Apes, go check it out. And I know a lot of people are probably like, why are you talking about the old apes? There's the new one with like Andy Serkis, and it's so good. And it is good. And I'm going to have somebody on soon, and we're going to debate that about like the new apes versus the old apes. And I think you're going to enjoy that conversation. But in the meantime, go check out the original Planet of the Apes. We'll be back next week to talk about Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the sequel, which ultimately should have ended the franchise. And we're going to talk about Charlton Heston Light, James Franciscus, and all that kind of stuff. But until then, if you want to send me any kind of email, have it read on the show. If you have a comment, head over to moviehousewithron.com, and you can go to the contact page and just shoot me an email, and I'll either read it on the air or I'll answer it on the air. Whatever you want to do. It's awesome times here at Movie House with Ron Pertee. Also, don't forget to head over to patreon.com/Ron Pertee, and you can help promote the show with money. Help us get bigger. Help us grow out of the little tiny ape city. We will march into the Forbidden Zone. So yeah, don't forget to tune in next week. We're going to talk about Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the sequel, and yeah, you have yourself a good week, and don't forget to feed the fish. Hey everybody, since I'm stuck back here in the movie theater all day looking for movies to show you guys and going through old film canisters and boxes and posters and all sorts of other stuff, I tend to wander and I tend to do a little digging. I search around. I'm like a little treasure hunter. So while I was in the back, I found a film canister that says "Do not open." So because I'm stupid, I opened it, and this is what came out. I can only assume he's a genie, so I'm going to see if I can get some wishes from him. Genie, here's my wish. I wish to have a movie that's a sequel starring Charlton Heston, Orson Welles, and Roddy McDowall. Can you do that for me? Okay, that's not exactly what I was looking for. I mean, there was no Orson Welles, there was James Gregory. There was no Roddy McDowall, there was some other British guy. And there was a little Charlton Heston, but there wasn't a lot. There was more James Franciscus. I mean, I guess deep down, that's exactly what Beneath the Planet of the Apes is. It's a giant wish. It's a wish for this amazing cast that you never get. And it's a wish that it was a better movie. And it's a bad movie, but I love it so much. It's my favorite in the entire franchise. I can't get enough watching it. Whenever it comes to sitting around and just binging on Planet of the Apes, I can't wait to get to Beneath the Planet of the Apes, because you've got these people who apparently have Stan Winston locked down in there in the year 3955, and he's making masks for them to cover up their mutated form when they pray to their god, which is a doomsday bomb. I mean, it's such a social commentary for today that it's almost a little sickening. You've got illusion versus stupidity. The mutants shoot out this illusion at the apes, and the apes buy into it. Sound like anything else that you may know? And I want to get more in depth into it, but down the line it just starts getting more and more convoluted, and there's things that I don't understand, and we're going to get into a lot of convolution when it comes to the next movie that we're going to cover. So I just want to talk a little bit about how the background apes were all masks. They weren't like hero makeup, and you could tell, and it was bad. It was very, very bad. But I kept making them, and I kept loving them. I love them all, just some more than others, and Beneath the Planet of the Apes is my favorite, despite it being probably one of the worst. And I say that with love. I really do. So thank you, Genie, for giving me Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Oh, well, all right. So I guess I'll see you next week when we talk about... Oof. This one's going to be tough to get through. We talk about Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Also, if you want to have your letter read on the air, go over to moviehousewithron.com. There's a contact button. Email me. I'll read your letter on the air. Do you need relationship advice? Are you a struggling artist or something? I don't know. Just shoot me an email and it'll show up on the air. All the social media links are there as well. Also, if you're a filmmaker and you have a trailer that you want shown on Movie House, well, then just go ahead and shoot me an email, and we'll talk about getting something up here to help you promote your new film. So until then, I'm Ron Pertee. This has been Movie House. I have to go deal with an unruly genie. We'll see you next week when we talk about Escape from the Planet of the Apes. All right, so tell me more about this movie you want me involved in. A third Apes movie? That's just stupid. Great! More time travel! Pretty soon those Doctor Who people are going to come after you. Sal Mineo, the Oscar winner, and you want him for what? 10 minutes? So he can bridge the gap between the two movies? Okay, how? So an ape finds Chuck Heston's spaceship at the bottom of the middle of a lake, pulls it out, knows how to fix it, learns how to pilot it, and then is in space just before Chuck detonates the Earth. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Nothing but plot holes. Minio does this, it's his last movie. The US government is worried about apes taking over in 2,000 years? Are you kidding me? The Nixon administration isn't even caring about what's happening after lunch. Nah, I don't want any part of this. In fact, I'm going to tell everybody I know that this is a giant piece of crap. Okay, so you getting into the canister aside, how did you magically make a movie appear last episode? What? Oh, I mean, movies are magic, kid. Movies are magic. So yeah, they did make another sequel, and I know what you're probably thinking, the fourth sequel, and it's probably going to be crap, but it was probably the most put together sequel of the entire franchise. And they called it Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Roddy McDowall came back, but he played his son, this time Caesar. And Ricardo Montalban was back. He had a very cool role. And the whole thing was set against the backdrop of dogs and cats dying out. And it was set in 1997, which is a long time ago. So looking at that future compared to the way 1997 was while you were in the canister is a little weird. But this is the most well-acted. It's got the political allegory for this one is amazing because it really plays against the whole civil rights movement at the time that was going on. From what I understand, when you watch behind-the-scenes stuff on the Planet of the Apes DVDs, it says that when they showed Conquest of the Planet of the Apes in, I think it was Watts, the audience jumped up and was, yay, this is awesome. And you really can't blame them. It really, and at one point, the original ending was supposed to be much, much darker, but then they realized this is supposed to be a family film, so they had to change things. And that's an awkward part because they had Roddy McDowall going into ADR, and he's saying these lines, but they're cutting to his eyes instead of cutting to his mouth talking, and they're cutting to other people. They're cutting away so you can't see. But overall, this is one of the best sequels in the entire franchise. It's one of the best made movies, aside from the first movie. Very, very cool. It kind of plays with history, though, because if you remember, in Escape from the Planet of the Apes, they said that Aldo was the first ape to speak and say no. Well, that's a little different now. In this one, Caesar obviously can speak. He shows up in Los Angeles, or North America, I should say, with Ricardo Montalban's character, and they were advertising the circus. And then an ape was getting beaten, and Caesar said, "Lousy human bastards," and Ricardo tried playing it off like it was him. It was this whole thing. But it was awesome. It was a great movie. I really liked it. It's one of the sequels that, now that you're out of the canister, I think you should probably check out, because I think you really, really would enjoy it. Are you even paying attention? What? Have you seen hardcore porn? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to distract myself. I mean, Marvel Comics hasn't been that great lately, but it's better than what I'm about to talk about. That's right, I'm going to talk about Battle for the Planet of the Apes, the final installment in the Ape franchise. And this... so disjointed. There's so many questions left unanswered. Like, why is McDonald from Conquest of the Planet of the Apes not Caesar's aide? Why is his brother? And what happened to McDonald after the nuclear war, which apparently drove the apes and humans out into the woods? Okay, all right. And it's been 20 years, I believe they said. So how did all these apes learn how to speak such fluent English, especially Paul Williams, who plays Virgil, who will not shut the hell up the entire movie. It makes me wonder how that happened. I really, and if you pay close attention, I guess you can see John Landis. You know, American Werewolf in London, John Landis. John Huston, you know, famous director and actor, is in this. He plays the lawgiver, and John Landis actually asked him, "Why did you do it?" And he said, "Always take the money, kid." And that's exactly what Battle for the Planet of the Apes is. It was about money. They said in the middle of production that this was it. This was going to be the last one because it is just hot garbage. But that being said, it's hot garbage that you enjoy watching. It's not trash like Beneath the Planet of the Apes is. That's so bad it's good. It's just really, really horrible. And I'm tired of apes. I am. I love them, but this is the way I have to end things with Battle for the Planet of the Apes for Apes Month. I can't do it. I'm glad it's ending because this is a really bad movie. The fact that Roddy McDowall's there proves that maybe he needed an addition on his house. Claude Akins obviously doing it for the money. It was just so bad. And the matte paintings were horrible. And the Forbidden City where the mutants lived was just like foam covered stuff. It was so bad. I just can't. I'd rather watch that dirty puppet movie. What's it called? Yeah, see, they don't even know. Thanks for actually coming in, Mike the Usher. Mike the Usher's here, and I can tell that he's been in the bathroom because he has a book about Truffaut under his arm. And that's a whole other thing. Why were you playing French New Wave while I was gone? Why? I thought we had to talk about this. If you're gonna play pieces, play threads if you wanna get a reaction out of people. That's not sleeping. French New Wave. Yeah. Just keep your nose in that book. Go highlight all the nuances of Francois Truffaut and Jean-Luc Godard. He wants my job, you know. And things have de-evolved to this. That's what Battle for the Planet of the Apes is, folks. It's that bad. But I want to thank you all for joining me on Apes Month here on Movie House. Starting September 6th, we're going to be back to our normal, just regular old movies. And I was on the Shameless Picture Show podcast with Michael Byers. And we talked about our favorite top 5 movies that made us feel like summer. So look for that. I'll post a link down in the description. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, so check that out. And I made an announcement that next week, September 6th, we're going to be talking about True Romance. The Quentin Tarantino penned, Tony Scott shot, Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette starring film. It's one of my favorites. We'll talk about that next week on the program. I want to thank you all for tuning in and suffering through Apes Month with me. And that producer and Mike now. It's just, I can't. See you next week.